Ba-ding! Well, howdy, newly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this. Here in the Pacific Northwest, it is raining. It is gray and foggy and overcast, and water is falling out of the sky. How did that happen? So it's just that kind of Sunday. And I, of course, I'm going to be tugging obsessively on my shirt because that's just the kind of person I am. Yay! I slept last night, and hopefully you slept as well. So, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be double plus good. And I forgot, I am very sorry, to change these 4 names. But these are 4 people from my Patreon list of patrons who are helping to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing. Tomorrow, I will have 4 different names. I can't put them up on screen at the moment. But if you would like to help keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links in the video description, as well as a PayPal for possible donations and an Amazon wishlist link that I desperately need to update. Thank goodness for executive dysfunction. Still, front-loading of video is over. Yay! Oh boy, it has certainly been a morning, and yesterday was a day. My leg. I was going to walk to Walmart last night. I couldn't. It hurt inside my ankle. So this morning when I wake up, it is still swollen, a little bit less so, but just as tender. So I don't know. It's less swollen. There's still that little bit of discoloration. There's still that massive amount of tenderness, and it hurts inside. I'm going to give it till tomorrow, and we shall see. I mean, the fact is, it's making small, incremental, getting better changes. So maybe it is, aside from the fact that I'm also getting that it's hurting more in parts. We shall see, yay! I especially don't want to go walking in the rain, but that's just me. I am also taking a look here on my list because of this. I am still drained. It is taking a lot of my energy just to heal and get better. It's Relit in the comments said when I am ready, he would love to watch any of the solo RPG stuff that I'll be doing. And I want to. It has been a lack of energy. And lack of energy increases my problems with my executive function and executive dysfunction. It is harder to do things when I'm sick and being drained like this than otherwise. So I'm hoping to get something done today. We shall see. We shall see. Checking though the rest of my list. Here's something I'm going to talk about because actually, excuse me, part of this is something that I've been thinking about and wanting to talk about for years, but executive dysfunction and such like that. I was on Twitter before, and I had posted a meme that was, there was a picture that had a lever on it, and it was some mild thing. It said, "Will you pull the lever?" And my retweet of that thing was like, "Planetary human extinction with the flip of a lever? You'd have to shoot me to keep me away from that lever." So, yeah, I made a tweet about how, good golly, you would have to make sure that I died. Otherwise, I would take the rest of the human race with me. Now, there's 2 ways, of course, to look at this. Number 1 is the psychopathic, why would you kill everyone in the world sort of thing. And the other one is, I look at it as we have messed up this globe so bad, and we're treating the world so poorly, really,
battery low.
Maybe something else should be given a chance to crop up and take over if we're out of the picture.
Power off.
It's hard to say. I look at it more that way instead of the psychopathic taking glee in planetary human extinction. Planetary human extinction still, but just in this case so that something else can take over instead of merely reveling in the joys and pleasures of the entire human race dying. Now, the reason I was really bringing this up is on top of all of the other things like that, The current death memes that have been going around for years and years and years, I laugh at them and I am disturbed by them at the same time, and I'm going to lead up to why. There was one, I watched like One Topic, and who goes also by Next Topic on one channel, but he does a whole bunch of Reddit readings and such like that, and TikToks, and one of the TikToks was like, what would you do if you went to bed knowing you weren't going to wake up tomorrow? And then the reply, the stitched together thing, from this other person was they were all wrapped up in this big fluffy quilt, and they were crawling across the mattress on their elbows, and then they flopped down onto this pillow with their head, and they were just laughing the entire time. And then when they flopped down onto the pillow to go to sleep, it was just and I think they're both funny, and of course, well, they are bothersome and disturbing. I mean, we should want to live instead of wanting to die, but I know that there's that whole big thing. Now, this one really ties all in together with this. I've watched the movie Cabin in the Woods when it came out ages ago. Now, if you don't know what the movie Cabin in the Woods is, it's basically all monsters are real, and governments around the world have been capturing these monsters, and I believe they seem to be all concentrated in one place in the United States, but a lot of these monsters are like very powerful and very monstrous, but they also need to have a blood sacrifice to the old gods every year to keep the old gods down. And so they have to choose people every year who get kidnapped and then used as blood sacrifices to keep the old gods from destroying everything. At the end of the movie, the two characters have a chance. They could take themselves out, the two characters that live. They can take themselves out, appease the old gods with blood, and save not the United States, the world for at least one more year, or they can just say, you know what, maybe we should let it all just go down. And in the end, they don't, and then the old gods rise up, and it's the end of the human race. I hate that ending, because how dare two people make a decision that results in death for 8 billion plus people? How dare you make that decision that I need to die because you think the human race needs to be wiped out? And yet, there's my joke about, yeah, I'll happily pull the lever to wipe out the human race. You'd have to kill me to stop me. And there were replies from people with that one, like, standing at the lever, yanking on it repeatedly, crying, going, why won't it work? It's such a grim type of humor and mindset, and I just wanted to talk about that. I don't know what I feel about it yet. I still partake in the stupid jokes and memes about wanting to die, but you know what? I desperately want to continue metabolizing. Actual death, being dead, that part, it's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us. There's no way to stop it. That part doesn't really scare me too much. Sometimes the idea of non-existence is terrifying. On the whole, though, I'm okay with it. What I don't like, and I'm not looking forward to if it happens this way, is feeling it happen and then having it happen. When you know suddenly that horrible pain you're having means you're going to go. This pain isn't going to get better, it's only going to get worse, and then you're going to die. I don't want that pain. I don't want that terror of feeling the freight train coming at me with the pain. That's the part I don't like. Non-existence? Every single one of us never existed before we were born. There have been about 100, they figure between 100 and 200 billion people have existed since people came into existence on this planet. They've all died. We're all going to get there. It's scary, but I'm quite sure it was scary to all those over 100 billion people. And yet it's still going to happen. So, yay. However, checking the rest of my list here. Oh yes, I was watching a thing on BMI and how BMI is, they use a lot, but it's really not a very good way to do things. But tracking anything is better than tracking nothing. I checked out my BMI, and it's going to be semi-accurate and not accurate, of course. Again, I have a BMI of 28, and I wrote down on the list here, overweight is a BMI of anywhere from 25 to 29. But a lot of the things that the BMI doesn't check for is things like bone density and muscle mass. And I have, after almost 10 years of going walkies for miles every single day, I have a lot of lean tissue in my legs and partially in my abdomen. I have been carrying backpack stuff on my back for several years now. I have a lot of lean muscle on my body, and lean muscle again is heavier. And a lot of the kind of fat that you have to worry about is visceral fat, which is inside your abdominal wall around your organs. BMI can't check that. Because I was heavier, I have a lot of external fat and skin, where my skin, stretch marks, I look like a wax figure that is half melted from the sun when I'm not wearing clothing, because stretch marks, I had a lot more skin. So now that I've lost weight, I'm at 200 now, that skin can't go anywhere because the collagen was destroyed, so it just stays stretched out, and you can have skin that is normally this thick, it's this thick and more. So I got a lot of loose skin that's also getting covered and included in that weight. So I've got thicker, heavier muscle and a lot of external skin and fat that way. I still want to lose weight. I'd like to get down to about 180 from the 200 I am currently at. So we shall see. I mean, I barely eat as it is. I eat one meal in a day, and then I do some minor grazing for the rest of the day. And I still can't lose weight. So, yay. I mean, I can, but... Checking the rest of my list here. Well, there's a couple things. First, real quick, hydration. I've discovered, again, first thing I do when I wake up is I drink 12 ounces because I haven't had anything to drink since I went to sleep or went to bed. And that can be anywhere from 6 on up hours. So the first thing I do is I drain 12 ounces. And then I drink this 28 ounces worth, and I drain that by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I fill it again, and I drain that until I go walkies. When I come back from walkies, I fill it up to about 8 ounces or so, and then I drink that before I go to bed. Not a lot, because I don't want to end up, getting up and down and up and down and up and down while I'm sleeping. So it might not even be 8 ounces that I drink. And so far, it's working out good. My urine is clear, TMI, but not perfectly clear. It's not heavy, but it's not too light. It's right where it should be. A very good thing. So thumbs up on that. Thank you very much. Nexor, the Mio, I use that as a generic term now. The water flavors things was a great idea, and doing this has been good. I don't need to stress out my body by drinking too much, nor do I need to, as I have in the past, stress out my body by drinking too little and damage myself any further. This is working out real good. So what else do I have here on my list? I'm going to try and, Well, there's two things. One is a creative thing, and the other one, it's Mr. Beast. This whole Mr. Beast thing that's been going on, and his partner, Chris, well, not partner, a friend, Chris, who's a partner on his show, his channel. And then there was a video by a guy called Sunny V2. Now, I used to watch those a lot because I thought they were informative. They've been being more and more sus to me because of the bias that people have, and then I've been watching other things about just how thoroughly biased they are. And on this one about Mr. Beast's friend Chris, who is currently on HRT and is transitioning to something that makes him more comfortable, the Sunny V2 video was all about how that was really a bad thing, and that this person, Chris, being happy is less important than what it might do to Mr. Beast's brand. And not only that, toward the end, with a total disconnect from reality, going, as it has been shown, introducing transgender and LGBTQ forced diversity into characters is bad. But Chris isn't a character. Chris is Mr. Beast's friend. He's not a character. It's not forced diversity. It's someone becoming comfortable with who they want to be and who they are. And of course, it ends with, it's been transphobic the entire way through. Then just ends with, well, the only real way to get out of this one, and it still might cause some controversy, is Chris should just quit the channel on their own. Yeah. Thanks, Sunny V2, for taking the mask off. But the last thing I want to talk about before I go in and start thanking people for leaving me comments is I've been on the creative front. I have talked about in the Razor's Edge and on the inside and in various places like under Marb, there is undifferentiated space. Now, when I'm referring to undifferentiated space, where it's like, gray like that, I don't mean it's actual gray. There's nothing there until you get there. It looks gray because there's just so many possibilities. If you have one picture, you're going to see all of the colors really clearly and all of the lines, but you put another picture on top of that and you're going to have weird stuff. Keep adding pictures while keeping the lighting, of course, and it's just eventually going to become a solid mass of gray. And that's what undifferentiated space and on the inside, Razor's Edge and places like Undermarb is. It looks gray because it is basically superpositioned reality. There is so much there that everything is stacked on top of it and it looks gray. But that's just because of the massive superpositioning of all of these layers of reality. When you have, now, I've got to try and say this so it makes sense. In my story setting, there is an observation effect. This drops things out of the superposition into your layer. Each person has an observation field around them of a circumference, with you in the middle, of course, going out this way, 3,000 meters. So it's 1,500 meters, is the radius around you. That, as you go traveling and your observation effect goes into, every place you go that is undifferentiated grayness gets dropped into your layer. Layers have to make sense. If you're walking through forest, you're going to have just more forest appear from the undifferentiated space, unless you're seeking a way out of the forest, in which case you start moving toward what you think is out. Keep that in your mind and keep traveling differently. You're going to go out of the woods. You're traveling through undifferentiated layers that, as you walk in there, drops out of the superposition. And then, of course, there is a persistence effect. As you walk behind and stay, where you are observing, of course, it stays. But you leave, there's about an hour or so, everything stays stable until it fades. into the undifferentiated space, and then it's just the observation effect drains away, and it just fades back into the superposition of everything is there, so it looks gray. So when you're traveling through places like Undermarb, where there's an infinite dungeon, it's not that there's nothing there until you get there. It's just you enter a room and it drops out of the superposition into your layer. So thumbs up for that. And of course, just as a reminder, on the outside where we live, there is 1 square meter of there for every 1 square meter of space. We have no extra layers out here on the outside. On the inside, for every square kilometer, there is effectively 1,000 square kilometers of undifferentiated space of there. There is just more there. On the razor's edge, because it is so wild, for every square meter, there is effectively 1,000,000 square kilometers of there. And that's just the vast amount of possibilities and different layers. There are different layers. When you're on the razor's edge, all those layers that are there, undifferentiated space, they still exist. They're just superpositioned and haven't attached to your layer. They still exist. There's still people there. And that's the way that works, so thumbs up for that. I have a lot of things still on the inside, the outside, the razor's edge, and the cryptid setting that still needs to be explored and worked out. I haven't been able to be any more creative than I have just talked about now and such because of my bloody cellulitis, so thumbs up for that. Checking my list, I am way too late. So, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank how many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, I'm not even paying attention to that really. So we have, take off my glasses so I can see at this distance. It's Relit, thumbs up, thank you, greatly appreciated. Jesse Koskinen. I don't think that they'll ever optimize Minecraft. I don't think they can. They keep updating it too quickly. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you. And I just don't like it when people, it's just, I don't know, it bugs me. PEEP, who asked, what is this for my Minecraft Dungeons Let's Play? Nexar EH, greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoy Kung Fu Panda 2. And the Cringe YouTuber 09, greatly appreciated, thumbs up and thank you. EJNER, send home Nielsen, thumbs up, thank you. Floramu, greatly appreciated, and I actually like both types, but yeah, the point of interest map leads to a lot less pointless wandering around and minor silliness. The point of interest type maps get you to it and going, so that's a good thing. Manga Smith, Bo. MANGESMIDTSHEMLIGAPLA. A has one of those circle type line things above it. SLAGARPULUTON. Thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated for your comments. Lewis, thumbs up, who has very good ideas, and I need to get lava. Holy smokes. Shinra, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. RJ Mitchell, always good to see you in the comments, and I hope my leg is healing up. I honestly don't know. And that is it. Thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only in text. Thumbs up and thank you. Well, hokey smokes, it's still Sunday, so I'm just going to do minor things. I'm going to try and record some solo RPG stuff today. Here's hoping it works out, depending on how I feel. This bloody infection. Arrgh. So, thumbs up for that. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, even if it's just lazing around and doing nothing. Yay! So that's a very good thing, as I tug obsessively on my shirt still. Well, very good. I am going to bring this to a halt and all that. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And until I get my new routine, I am just going to feel all all lost here when I reach the end and have to end it with this.